National Treasury wants your input on plans to overhaul the retirement system in the country. Legislation suggests that two savings pots, one which you can touch and the other which will have to wait until retirement. The new legislation comes into effect the next year, potentially. Let's talk to Jannie Oosthuizen from the Public Servants Association on the new two-pot system. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Maybe just as the PSA, your thoughts on the public commentary or the proposal by government to institute this two-pot retirement system.
Good morning. Well, the PSA are in favour of such a system. It is, however, very important for us to also pronounce that we need to have monitoring systems in place, and there needs to be a criteria how this lending will be allowed, because we cannot also be reckless and just loan money willy-nilly to employees, and upon retirement they might find themselves in a very difficult or awkward position that they will not have enough money to survive.
Mm-hmm. Let's speak about, so COSATU, for example, are saying that this needs to be initiated immediately, in that people are stressed and under financial pressure at this very moment. What do you say about the timeline or the guidance that government has given in terms of when it'll be initiated?
Look, I think it's very important also to understand in terms of the public servants, especially on the public servants, the Government Employees Pension Fund, the GPF, which is currently not part of that because the GPF is governed by its own act. And first of all, there needs to be amendments to the GPF Act and the rules in order to allow for that. So for us, the timeline, yes, we do understand that there is very much hardship amongst the public and amongst even government employees. But in order for that to be effective, there needs to be amendments, and we also know that how long these amendments might take place, and there's processes that must unfold. So we also do not want to jump into and do a rush or hush process, and we are of the firm belief that there need to be proper processes in place and proper consultation on this specific issue, because it might also have detrimental impact if it's not been managed in a way that it should be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just based on the discussions you've had with stakeholders within the PSA and otherwise, how is the management process set to look like in this regard? I know one of the elements of this particular two-pot retirement system is that a person can only access those emergency funds once a year.
That is 100% correct, and we also, from our side, we think that it's a monitoring mechanism that they want to put in place. As I've indicated, we must guard at all for reckless lending and just lending each and every day, because it might come back at the end and doesn't yield the results that the entire system is supposed to bring the relief for employees. So the PSA is very much of the view that there is quite some work to be done that needs to be unfolded, and that we are welcoming the two-pot system. Although, as I've indicated, as long as they also will include public servants in order to take part in this and to be allowed to access their pension money.
Mm-hmm. We speak about the two-pot retirement system as one of the ways to alleviate the financial pressures that South Africans are facing at the moment. Jannie, what are other interventions, if we can broaden it a little bit, can government or related stakeholders look at to help with those pressures that consumers across the country are facing?
Well, I think there's quite a number of methods that they can look into. First of all, I think the biggest hardship is currently the fuel price that is rising and rising and rising. And I mean, I think there can be methods look into in reducing that pressure that is on the entire public of South Africa. That is only one. That is only one of the systems. And yes, maybe they can look into reducing the tax. There's quite a number of processes or methods that they can look into. It is just is there a willingness from government to alleviate the pressure on its citizens? And if we look at the current situation and the inflation that is going up and the petrol prices going up and the food basket, everything is just going up, but there's no assistance from government. You cannot only assist for a few days or for a month or two, reducing the fuel tax levy, and then all of a sudden you reintroduce it, and then the petrol price skyrockets again. It is definitely not assisting us at all.
No, it's not indeed. And of course, you guys, you as an association represent public servants, and those wage negotiations are currently underway with the government. Government are very strict in what it's able to afford. Where are we standing at the moment in terms of what you are asking for as unions and what government is able to give?
Well, yesterday there was a special council meeting for the continuation of the wage negotiations. All Labour parties has rejected the offer of 2% that was tabled by the employer. We have indicated to the employer that we are only willing to talk to them if they at least, at the minimum, start with 3%, which the office bearers has received, because we regard it as an insult towards the workers. If they want to give us 2%, whilst the office bearers are getting 3% backdated to April 2021. So the PSO already instituted a dispute. We did have a conciliation meeting where the employer raised certain jurisdictional points. They must submit their arguments on the 10th, where PSO will reply on the 15th, and we trust that we will receive a ruling on the 19th. It is, however, our view that the employer is using this as a delaying tactic, because last year exactly the same arguments were raised and they've got a ruling against them. But as unions, we are currently at a 6.5% that we have tabled, and we are not willing to move any lower than that, given the current inflation, which is at 7.4%.
Thank you very much. That's Public Servants Association Chief Labour Relations Officer, Mr. Jannie Oosthuizen, joining us to speak about the two-part retirement system that is set to come into place next year. It is open for public commentary at the moment, but also other labour issues, including the public sector wage negotiations that are currently underway.